Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Freeholders, I want to present Cornerstone Behavioral Health Hospital of Union County. We've had an interesting few months with the transition. As far as our accomplishments are concerned, we transitioned to 2 existing psychiatric units, Cornerstone East and West, under the lease agreement with Reynolds Property LLC. We physically had to move all the support operations to a separate designated area, which, by the way, is cramped, provided by the lease agreement. Provide staffing in accordance with civil service and budgetary framework while still maintaining the care and safety of our patients. It was quite a challenge to do that. Implemented a system of care guidelines for managing utilization and quality review. We realized anticipated projected revenue while staying under the overall budgetary expenditures for the year. As far as the initiatives, we maintain a full census of 44 beds for the 2 units, 20 on one side and 24 on the other. We continue to utilize individual and group treatment programs in conjunction with family and community resources towards an eventual goal of re-entry of the patient into the community. We are preparing, and we have prepared for federal state surveys through the New Jersey Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services. We recently had an inspection by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and we did rather well. And we certainly monitor for assurance of all services provided per the lease agreement with Reynolds Property LLC.
Director, what's your census today?
44.
44.
We've been full by the room.
Excellent.
We have a discharge and we get an admission.
Continue.
If I may, Mr. Chairman,
please.
yeah, I'm going to probably, questions are going to probably be more towards Michael in a moment, but I just wanted to take a moment to say that, as you well know, as the closing took place on December 15th of last year, the county was moved very rapidly because of changes in the overall contract and ended up taking the managing Cornerstone. The staff that is there now has done an excellent job. As Michael indicated, census has been almost at 100%. Since that time, as you know from many, many sessions over the last year or so leading into this, the goal was to continue to provide the same quality care that Reynolds always provided, particularly with Cornerstone, and to manage the budget to the best of our ability and maximize any reimbursements that came in. I believe that these gentlemen to my left, as well as the staff, are honoring that commitment and continue to move forward. There are some hitches, and there will continue to be as we start to work with the new owner. But there is nothing to this point, I believe, that we're not able to get through. And the goal, as Michael indicated, is to keep census full and to provide the same care and quality that Reynolds was expected and did provide for the 100 years prior to its sale in December of last year. So with that said, I'm sure, or I believe you may have some questions relevant to that.
Thank you, Chairman. In reference to other expenses, I see for Cornerstone roughly $5 million compared to last year where there was a $10 million operating expense. Why is it only cut by half? We only have a section now.
Well, last year we also had the long-term care unit that we had to fund as well. So we actually had 2 operations going at the same time. We had the Cornerstone units and the long-term care nursing home side. This year, based upon the lease agreement, roughly $4.3 million of that will be paid out for services provided by the new owners. The remaining monies are being utilized internally to cover other expenses, primarily physicians and contracts that we have in place. One of the larger ones is we're hoping that next month we'll have some favorable results from a bid that's going out to provide us with security services. So that's being opened on the 2nd of April. We're anticipating that will run $100,000 to have an outside security company provide us with the needed security for the 2 units. This year we're funding 83 positions. Last year we had close to 400. So the numbers are in line, they're actually lower when you compare what we spent last year for the Cornerstone unit versus this year. We're about $1 million lower. The revenue is about the same, so we're trying to maintain the operation, but stay within the goal of the board, not increasing any additional costs on the taxpayers.
I think you said roughly 80, how many employees?
83 FTEs are.
And seasonal would cover,
Seasonals will cover people that are on vacation. We don't have the luxury anymore from the other units that were long-term care. So when a social worker goes out, the patients still need to have that service. So we're going to rely upon a seasonal social worker to come in and meet those needs. And there's also an IT person that comes in, who's familiar with our unique operating system that we've been using for many years, and knows how to do the billing and the other reports that are required. We have roughly 36 computers that have to be maintained up there. So we're trying to utilize a minimal amount of staff in order to maintain the operation. And a seasonal gives you much better bang for your buck, so to speak.
If I may, one of the things, and I think this probably goes along with your question, Freeholder, as you will recall, there were some people got caught short on the owner's side with staffing, but also because of the protracted negotiations and how long it took. The psychiatrists in particular that were working in the unit, they sought other employment and left. And as a result of that, we got into some contracts with both Trinitas as well as firms that provide psychiatrists so that we can continue to cover the patients that we're in. We're almost all out of those now.
We're winding those down.
We're winding those down, and so you'll see, I think, more as they go forward, you'll see more of the stabilization of the budget and more in line with the cost that we talked about up front.
thank you, Chairman.
Anything else? Rose, any other questions?
Quick question.
Shoulder shot.
Yes. First thing you say that we have a total of 44 beds, correct?
Yes.
Now, what is the normal or the acceptable or the allowed ratio from employees to residents? So I'm going to assume 44 beds means there's 44 patients there, correct?
Yes, correct.
In
Broken up.
institutions such as ours?
Yeah, broken up into two units. For the 7 to 3 shift, we have 3 RNs and 3 IAs, aides, if you will, on each side. So it's six of each. For the 7 to 3 and 3 to 11 shift. For the 11 to 7 shift, it's 2 and 2.
So
Two nurses,
per day,
two.
what are the ratios?
What does it come out to?
So that's that'll be 6, 6, and 4. That's 20.
As far as the ratio between,
Oh, the ratio. The ratio is about 2 to 1.
Is it standard in the industry?
It's what we've been utilizing.
No, I know we have.
yeah.
But I'm saying, is that comparable to other,
For the kind of acute care that we provide, in order to assure safety of the patient as well as the staff, yes.
Is that what the state, I just want to follow up on that, is that the state guideline, or is that our internal guideline?
No, the state has guidelines that mirror that because of the type of facility that we are.
So it is that we are staffed at the state standard.
Staffed appropriately.
Okay. Fredo, any other questions regarding Cornerstone?